Let's talk about the film Raging Grace, which is opening in some theaters and will be available digitally later this month. This is a film that premiered at South by Southwest and actually did win the Grand Jury Award there. It is directed by Paris Zarcilla, and it is definitely one of the most interesting films of the year so far, in my opinion. So let's get right into it. Before we do, we are running a Saw X giveaway, so if you want to win a digital code for the film, all you have to do is follow us on Instagram, like the post over there, and comment why you want to enter or just what your favorite Saw movie is. But let's get right into Raging Grace, which is a combination of a horror, a drama, psychological thriller, and just a fairy tale, honestly. And I'll get more into that in a bit. This film follows a mother who is an immigrant from the Philippines who is now working different jobs, trying to make it through in Europe and trying to be a good mother at the same time, which is a lot, especially considering that she doesn't have immigration status that allows her to be in the country. So she really is just navigating as best as she can. We ultimately see that she lands a good job at this residence and she might just be able to get enough money to lead a better life. But it turns out there's some secrets here and twists and turns that are going to take us down a dark path. That's all I'll say because I don't want to spoil things for you. This is definitely one of those films I went into not knowing anything about it. I just knew it had some horror in it, and that was it. I'm sold. It looked good from the picture I saw. I didn't even watch the trailer for it. I haven't even watched it yet. I'm very curious to see how it's different from the film because a lot of times these films get very different trailers, and sometimes people can be a little bit let down by that. And I've figured that you can't really take a trailer to be what the film will be sometimes, especially nowadays with marketing and all of that. But that's enough. That's a whole other video. But let's talk about the film in itself, which, like I said, it combines a lot of different genres and it does it effectively. The drama in here is really great. The story is compelling. There's a lot of moments here that really have you feeling for everything that's going on in their life. And there's a lot of these horrors and just reality of how things really are for immigrants trying to lead a better life and the subtle racism, the plain out racism they experience day in, day out. And I really did think that the story was told effectively in that point. Then you mix in the horror of it with these hallucinations, these dreams, and this darkness that starts to surround the story as we get to the halfway point when some things start to unravel and you're wondering, oh, that is not sounding good at all. And that's exactly what I really enjoyed about the film, that we were able to go into this path that sort of felt like a true horror fairy tale like story where we have these characters that have these masks and they're not exactly who we thought they were, and the story starts to take a 180 on us, and now we're dealing with something even more sinister than what we expected at the beginning. And I think that story doesn't affect it, and I think the film does a great job at that because the actors are able to really turn on that factor and just become something entirely different than the roles they were playing at the beginning, because the film also is great at showcasing humanity here in the film, so you really start to feel worried about what exactly is going to happen next. I thought the suspense here also was great. There were moments that felt like a true horror where you're navigating this dark, empty house and you don't know what's about to come out the other corner, and then it slowly starts to turn into a very sinister film as we find out the true intentions of the people here. And that's all I'll say about that as well. I don't want to give too much away. There's a lot you could give away here and it would really ruin the story, because watching this not knowing anything and seeing how it unfolds truly was one of the best parts of the film, I will say. I do think that the film kind of speeds up at the end a little bit too much, and it feels like they wanted to tell the story in a certain amount of time. So when we start getting towards the end of it, it's like things just start happening a little bit too fast, and it doesn't feel as effective as it did at the beginning of the film, where I think if they had a little bit extra time here, it would have fleshed it out a little bit more and really had the story hit home. I also thought that the ending didn't know when to end, and we had moments where it just felt like this would have been great to finish it right here with this final shot, and I feel like we just add a little bit too much to the ending and it doesn't really hit as effective as I would have loved it to, in my opinion. But overall, I did enjoy this film for its horror aspects, and just the actors in general were great here as well. There were a lot of moments here where some of them were very, very believable in what they were doing, and you could really sense the 180 turn each one took sometimes, and it was just insane to see just how crazy things just got at the end. Overall, I think it's an effective story about the trials and tribulations that immigrants do face day to day, and also just about the sinister and evilness that is the racism that still exists for these immigrants, and these sort of prejudice that does continue to happen in a lot of the countries where these immigrants end up going. And I think that they were able to effectively showcase that in a story that felt grounded at the same time, but also had this elevated sense like a fairy tale, because this story does unravel like that. And I don't want to say like which fairy tales exactly, because I think that could kind of give it away, but there are some sinister turns here that happen, and it really has you like, damn, they really got me in the first half with that, because I was thinking that things were going to turn out this way, and then out of nowhere you hit me with this turn and it's this way instead. And that just happens throughout the last half of the film all over, and it's just incredible to see. But like I said, that final act is just a little bit too rushed, and that ending just feels like it wasn't a good ending, if that's my opinion about it. It just felt like we could have cut something out, or if you wanted to go that route, we could have explored that a little bit more, but it just didn't make sense to me, especially the way the characters were throughout the whole film and towards the ending, and then the ending just came out of nowhere and just felt like these were a whole set of new characters. That's just what I felt about it, but let me know your thoughts and opinions on it down below. If you watched Raging Grace, and what did you think about it? If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below. We give Raging Grace a 3.75 out of 5. We thought it was great at its touching story, as well as the horrors that were mixed in. It just felt a little too rushed at the ending for us, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Check out our review for Eileen, which also comes out today, and make sure you're following us on Instagram if you want to enter to win the Saw X giveaway code for the digital version of the film. We will be giving that out on Sunday, so you have 2 days to enter, and make sure you're entering on Instagram. That's where we're giving it away. But as always, that's going to do it for me. We'll see all of you next time. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Got a ton of videos. 31 videos this month is our goal, 1 a day at least. So make sure you're following us here for all the things you love in film, music, TV shows, all that good stuff, pop culture. But as always, I'll see all of you next time. Like I said, Saw X giveaway code over there on Instagram. Follow us on all the socials for anything else you want to hear. And I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.